Greetings and welcome back, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for another edition of Electric Avenue's YouTube channel. Today's update is December 2nd, 2022. And kind of a sad day, actually. We lost a legendary musician this week, member of this band, Fleetwood Mac. We say goodbye to Christine McVie. I considered her the glue that held that band together. I'm sure she was the one that sort of pushed to keep things going along with Mick after Lindsay and Stevie's sort of fallout. So it's a sad day there. She wrote a lot of great songs and had a lot of great songs with the band. Didn't do as much solo work outside of it, but she did have some, a very early album under the name Christine Perfect. And later stuff, they recently came out with a Christine McVie collection called Songbird. This is just a CD edition, which is what I happen to have hanging around the store. It also has a new orchestral version of the song Songbird with Glyn Johns producing. So that's out in the world. I think there might be vinyl of that. I don't have them around. But get out and buy some Fleetwood Mac, I guess, support the band, obviously, like you haven't already over the years. I mean, this album over here is one of the top, 3-5 biggest selling albums of all time, which she had a very large part in. So anyway, sad at the beginning of a December sort of holiday season. But on that note, let's get on to some new releases this week. There aren't as many this week. I should mention Black Friday was a pretty big success for us. It was our biggest ever. We were up a little bit from last year, and I wouldn't say we're hitting a plateau. I felt that way sort of for a little while now. I do feel like maybe traffic in store was pretty much about the same as last time, and maybe because of inflation the prices were just a little bit higher on certain things that might have made up for the difference. I'm not really sure exactly, and I do hear some stores out there crying like whoa and sending in like pages of dissatisfaction letters to record labels. So and I will say I think that they kind of dropped the ball on certain things, like we'd sort of complained, I think it was last record store day, there might not have been a David Bowie title. This time we got two, but we did not get anything really, there was no U2, which was kind of a surprise, and no Prince either. Those were ones that we'd sort of been getting. And then obviously things, Rolling Stones and Beatles have become kind of hit and miss. You might get a Ringo or maybe McCartney. I don't think there was anything this time, but he's too busy making mountains of money off of overpriced 45 box sets. No, I'm just kidding. Some of you know that joke. So anyway, that being said, I think it was a sort of a mixed bag, but I think that's sort of where we are right now with everything going on. Anyway, so new releases. The big one this week, I think, that at least some of you will be looking for is the Harvest box set from Neil Young. This is the 50th anniversary. This thing is heavy. It looks nice. It's the original album remastered, 3 Harvest outtakes on a 7-inch single, 2 unreleased versions. 1971 unreleased BBC concert on vinyl and CD. That's kind of a selling point, I think, although, how many live concerts has Neil Young put out this year from that era? Quite a few. Harvest Time, a 2-hour unreleased film from 1971 on DVD. A 48-page hardbound book, numbered lithograph and poster, for about $150. It's interesting that there are DVDs in here, and as Neil is sort of shying away from the Blu-ray, and I'm kind of guessing that maybe because most of his audience is sort of a certain age, or a lot of them, and they might not have Blu-ray players, and I kind of see that with some of my customers that still haven't, even after 20 or more years, have not switched over to, they got their DVD player, and that's all they want. And I'm like, well, you can play, DVDs on your Blu-ray player, but you can't do it the other way around. And Blu-ray players are pretty cheap right now, or they have been. So, I don't know what to say about that, except some people just don't like change. And here's the CD box of this, which runs about $50. It's a cute little cube sort of version of it, bigger than a regular CD, height and length or width wise, but yeah. Anyway, all right. And another thing that this came out actually last week, but was sort of a late arrival, and I love this cover art, is Groove Armada. And this is a box set 25 that celebrates their 25 years. Very colorful, eye-catching artwork. This is the 2022 versions of all the hits and more. If you know Groove Armada, you probably have heard I See You Baby, Super Stylin', If Everybody Looked the Same. My personal favorite is Song for Mutia, which featured a girl, Mutia, from Sugababes, which was a popular British girl group trio. Americans don't really have any sense of Sugababes much, but some will know. And there's also a poster in here, which probably is this artwork, which would be super cool on a wall. Anyway, so it's around 75, so not too bad for a couple CDs, a couple records. Oh, sorry, we'll get to that. I'm like, this is the thing, is a lot of these covers now, they have barcodes on them, so my scanner just goes crazy when it sees certain things. Jerry Garcia. This is the Garcia album. I don't know if I can show that. This is a limited edition of 10,000, expanded to LP edition on vinyl for the first time. And it includes new liner note essays from David Fricke. And the second record has a whole bunch of alternate takes of things like Sugary, Loser, Late for Supper, and then it goes into Spider God, E-Power. So there's a lot of bonus tracks on vinyl. If you're looking for a Grateful Dead fan, Christmas gift, holiday gift, whatever, maybe that's a thought. One of my favorite bands recently that has been putting out a lot of records this year, and it kind of becomes the butt of several jokes, is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This year they had the great, what I thought was a great album called Omnium Gatherum, came out earlier this year. And then they released 3 albums this fall. Ice Death was sort of like jammy, and Changes, and why am I blanking on the third one? Someone out there is going to tell me. There are so many King Gizzard records out there. Maybe maybe the third one's not out yet on vinyl. I think that's it. Well, anyway, we finally got Changes in, which is a kind of a jazzier record. Like there's a long title track, and then it sort of goes a little bit more like broken up after that. But yeah, this one was late. That's sort of the official cover of it, if I sort of am allowed to pull that out there, since it's not sealed. Another one that came out this week, which is a reissue, is Float Along, which came in this kind of interesting cover. You'd recognize it if you're a King Gizzard fan that way. This is the Venusian Sky edition, which they've done for things like Infest the Rat's Nest, that color. Also, this is an interesting edition, and it's sealed, so I can't open it, but the Golden Rattlesnake edition of Flying Microtonal Banana. So, and that's the cover. You don't really get much more than that. You almost have to know what you're looking for, because it doesn't say Flying Microtonal Banana on it. But if you're a King Gizzard fan, you'll know. Jazz. All right, Jazz. There are a couple of big Blue Note tone poets out this week. I say big. They're big because they're not albums that people readily know, and I think a lot of times people are searching for stuff that they haven't heard before. And this guy is known, but he doesn't sell in big waves or anything, is Blue Mitchell. This is a 1967 album. Bring It Home to Me. It's Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Junior Cook tenor sax, Harold Mayburn Jr. on piano, Gene Taylor bass, and Billy Higgins drums. So, yeah, Tone Poet, they were kind of having issues getting things out because of the product delays that we were getting to make these records. These were done also by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio and supervised by Joe Harley, cut from the original analog tapes. Nice that they're also pulling things out of the Pacific Jazz catalog still, and they're picking interesting things. This is a picture of Heath. I'm assuming it's sort of like a tribute to Ted Heath in a way. But this is Chet Baker on trumpet, Art Pepper on alto, Phil Urso on tenor, Carl Perkins on piano, not that Carl Perkins, Curtis Counts on bass, and Lawrence Marable on drums. There's pictures of some of the guys on the back. Yeah, and this, what year was this? 1961. So, probably more traditional, I'm assuming. It definitely looks that way. Anxious to hear those. So, all right, just a couple of sort of random on the Not Now label. Art Blakey's Three Blind Mice, which is sort of not around all the time. And also Lightnin' Hopkins with Sonny Terry, Last Night Blues. And that's what the back of that looks like. Back of that. I'm not really giving you like close-ups on the track listings, but you can look those things up if you're interested. Okay, a sort of big reissue this week. I'll show you the CD first. This is the box set of the Beach Boys' Sail on Sailor from 1972. This is like the Holland album, the Carl and the Passions album, has a bunch of like sessions from those albums, Mount Vernon and Fairway. This actually is, I want to say how many CDs are in here. 6 CD collection. It's kind of like a book. It's got like a 50-page book. This is like $150. Some of these box sets are getting like to the point where you're like, do I really want to spend the money on, that much? And then the other thing is the vinyl edition, which is more about $50, but in that range. It has 2 LPs and a 7-inch EP, fully remastered editions. The 7-inch EP, I don't know if it says what's on that. Oh, the EP from Holland. So yeah, it's just basically included the Holland and Mount Vernon and Fairway, A Fairy Tale. So that's out. Some of these I have sort of in limited quantities because I don't really know what the draw on some of this is. I know people maybe like the original albums but don't need they're like, oh, I'm okay with my original or something. So Jamiroquai, High Times. It's like a greatest hits album, 1992 to 2006. It does feature Virtual Insanity, Cosmic Girl, High Times, When You Gonna Learn, Too Young to Die, Blow Your Mind, Emergency on Planet Earth, and Space Cowboy. There's more songs. Yeah, so that's cool, because I think some people are like, they wanted the album with Virtual Insanity, but it's really expensive import, so that's a little bit less. Still not cheap. Queen, Sheer Heart Attack. This is another in that series of half-speed mastered editions that are coming out. And this one has Killer Queen and Stone Cold Crazy, Now I'm Here. Those are some of the big hits from that. So, yay. Kenny Wayne Shepherd. This is sort of a already 25-year-old album. And this is Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band. Trouble Is. And I don't know if there's anything added to this. This seems like a pretty straightforward 2 LP reissue of that. Same thing with this. Solomon Burke. This is the 20th anniversary of this. King of Rock and Soul. Solomon we lost, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago now. Featuring songs by Dylan, Waits, Morrison, Brian Wilson, Elvis Costello, Dan Penn, and Nick Lowe. Guest stars Daniel Lanois and Blind Boys of Alabama. So that is out in the world. And like I said, if I sell out of these things, hopefully I can get them again. But I don't know, because things, they sell out so immediately, and then you're like, waiting a week or two, or maybe longer in some cases. Cat Stevens, Catch a Bullet 4, reissue of this, or remastered reissue. It's interesting. I think this came out just on vinyl. Didn't see a CD component for this, which his last few were released on CD as well. I know there are going to be some people that want this. Creed, My Own Prison. This is the Craft Recordings edition. This was a very big hit when it came out. Features Torn, My Own Prison, What's This Life For, and One. The album that began the career of one of the biggest selling artists of all time. Well, that's pretty amazing, considering that really it was just 2 or 3 albums that were huge, and then they sort of fell apart, right? But here's the track listing, if I didn't show that. I don't know how fast those are going to go either. So I know some people with their 90s. Unsane, this is their self-titled album. Organ Donor is the first track. Bath, Maggot, Cracked Up, Slag. I mean, we're talking, Unsane is pretty wild. This is 1991. Yeah, so just basically straightforward reissue. It doesn't say anything about color vinyl, so I don't really know. Mustard Plug, Evil Doers Beware. If you like your ska, I think that this is kind of a iconic. This is Hopeless Records 25th Silver Vinyl Edition. There's a track listing on that. Let's see. And Andrew. Richard Dawson, The Ruby Chord. I guess it's more like this. They've got the sticker like this, but the name like this, and yeah. I do what I can, people. So this one is his new album, Sky Blue Vinyl Limited Edition, 12x12 art print, includes download code. There's some people that are really into Richard Dawson, and not the one that hosted Family Feud, by the way. Cigarettes After Sex. Well, what more can be said about that? Actually, this is a great album by kind of an underrated band, although, I mean, this is the album that I found to be their best. I guess, well, this is a limited edition white vinyl. I would say they sound like music for, like, well, were they on Twin Peaks: The Return? I think they were. That might be the place that I really heard them first. But it's sort of like dreamy, sort of beachy 50s type inspired music. It's like Chris Isaak on Quaaludes. It's very dreamy. So, and speaking of Chris Isaak, no, that is another sort of guy with a guitar. Joel Patterson, a hi-fi Christmas guitar. This record has been out before, I believe, but this is a color vinyl edition. Green vinyl. Features sort of solo guitar versions of I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Christmas Time Is Here, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, stuff like that. Mele Kalikimaka. I don't know if I said that right, but that's the way I remember that song. Mele Kalikimaka is the place to say. Well, all right. All right. Well, that's it. It was a little shorter this week, trying to kind of get you guys covered quickly. And again, RIP Christine. And let's see, next week, December 9th. There's not a whole lot on the docket for next week. There's some Queens of the Stone Age and Duran Duran reissues, which will be of note to their fans. I am probably going to come up with my year-end list here quite soon. Got some family sort of issues that are pressing right now too, so I'll try and get things videoed when I can, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So I continue to appreciate all of your support, guys. Thank you so much. could not do this without you at all. It's like it takes a village, right? I mean, I don't know. To coin a phrase that's been coined a million times and maybe seems a little trite, but it's a true sort of heartfelt thing. And I hope that people realize I keep mentioning this, and I don't know if the right people are watching this video or these videos or not. When I say, you know, we can't do record store days unless you support the store other times of the year. And there are a handful of people that only pop up every time there's like a record store day or a Black Friday. And the rest of the time I'm thinking, are you buying anything, or are you just kind of like looking through like, you know, leftovers online or, you know, Amazon shopping? Because that does not help the record stores be able to do record store day. And if you want record store day to continue and you want a record store near you that's going to provide you with the stuff that you want from that list, you need to support the store more than just twice a year. And I mean, it's kind of become like a slight pet peeve of mine, and I don't like to get bitter about those things because I'm, you know, getting older and feel the bitterness. And I love what I do, and I love being able to bring things into people's lives. Just yesterday, I had somebody who had bought a gift for someone else, and they came in to pick it up, and they had no idea that the person had bought them for them already, and their face just lit up. And that is so gratifying as somebody who can be involved in that process. Just like, you know, anybody who provides a service for people, they feel sort of gratification. So that's the kind of thing that you won't get with an online situation either. So you can send people all sorts of things, but it's hard to tell sometimes if it how meaningful it is. But anyway, all right, enough of my rambling. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully, or maybe this weekend. Have fun spinning all that RSD stuff. I've heard a few things already, and they sounded pretty great. All right, take care. Peace.